Hey everyone, and welcome to Cooking Companion TV. I'm Jenna Edwards, and this is a recipe demo of Tahini Cardamom Biscotti, which happens to be vegan. So give this video a thumbs up if you like it. We'll start with half a cup of sugar, half a cup of maple syrup, and half a cup of olive oil. Add half a cup of tahini with a quarter cup of nut or grain milk, plus 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Beat these ingredients until they combine. Now, a note about maple syrup. You can use honey if you like that, and it would be fun to use a honey with an extra hint of flavor to it. Most Americans don't know this, but honey changes flavor depending on what kind of flour it comes from. I see this a lot in France, so I feel like the variety is easier to experience in Europe than the US, and I think it makes baking a whole lot more fun if you are into using honey when you bake. Because the flavored honey can just add an extra little tint of a different flavor profile. So anyhow, after about a minute of mixing, let's add the flour. Ideally, you want a whole wheat flour, and today I'm using spelt. We will use 3 cups, and then add 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and 2 teaspoons of ground cardamom, and half a teaspoon of salt, and beat this until it's just combined. Now, a quick note about cardamom. It ends up being a primary flavor in this biscotti, so if you want more of the nutty flavor from the tahini, I'd pull back on the cardamom a tad. So I'm watching this mix together, and I can see that it's beginning to pull away from the bowl, so it's safe to stop. Next, we need to divide the dough into 2 parts. So I'm going to pull it together into a ball so it's easier to divide. And shape each part into a wide loaf, about 4 inches wide and 3/4 of an inch tall on a baking sheet. I'm using my pinky to measure here because just that top portion of my pinky is about 1 inch. And you want to leave a couple of inches of space between the loaves, and leave more than you see me leaving here. Sprinkle with sesame seeds and raw sugar if you like. Maybe even some crushed pistachios would be a nice addition too. And bake for 25 minutes at 275 degrees Fahrenheit, or until they turn light golden brown, which is hard to tell. So remove them from the oven after 25 minutes and gently slice the loaves into 1 inch wide cookies, and tip each piece on its side and spread them out. As you can see, mine are very soft, so I recommend, if you have time, letting them rest for 10 minutes or so before slicing them. And then return them back to the oven and bake for another 20 minutes at least. So here are mine from baking for another 20 minutes. They're very soft. My finger even leaves indentations. So maybe they'll firm up as they cool, but because I plan on dunking them in coffee, I'd like them a little more crisp. So I put them back into the oven for an additional 20 minutes. Now they've firmed up a bit more, but they certainly aren't hard enough to crack a tooth, which is pretty much where I want it. I'll store them in an airtight container and have my nutty, fragrant biscotti with my coffee in the mornings and maybe in the afternoons too. That's it for this recipe demo of Tahini Cardamom Biscotti. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to this channel for more demos just like this. I'm Jenna Edwards, and thanks for watching.